Hi friends, so this is Shar, and once again I'm back, but today's video we will talk about the I-864A. So what is this I-864A? So I-864A is a contract between sponsor and household member. So you will apply for the I-864A if the income of the petitioner or the sponsor is not enough. So based on the 2025 poverty guidelines for affidavit of support, so it depends on which state your petitioner is when you depends on which state you guys are applying. So there's 48 states, which is different, same for the 100% and the 125%, while for the Hawaii and the Alaska, they have different poverty guidelines. So later on we will talk about that. So we will move on. So once again, let's talk about first what's all about in the cover letter of my I-864A. Okay, so I think last time I mentioned about the all the cover letters that I submit to the USCIS. So now why I am showing you the I-864A, it's because if you've watched my videos, I received a request for evidence from the USCIS. So now I have to apply for the I-864A. So maybe in my other videos I will explain to you why what is my request for evidence all about. But today we will just focus to I-864A. So I just explained to you why now I'm submitting I-864A for my request for evidence. So now let's talk about first the cover letter. So what is in the cover letter of my I-864A? So this is all about the I-864. So same thing, if you watch my previous video, so I put them into Roman numeral. First is the form, and then I put exhibit, so it's easier for the officers, immigration officers, to check what are all the forms. Okay, so on the Roman numeral I or 1, it's form, it says completed and signed form I-864A. So now once again, for the form I-864A, make sure that you go to the website, which is on this one. So this is the website, uscis.gov, and then you just have to search site 864A, and just click on this one, I-864, contract between sponsor and household member. All right, so this is the edition date. It says here 10/17/24, and date are listed. And so make sure the one on the edition date, which you will see at the bottom of the page on the form, and the instructions. So make sure it's the same thing on the form that you are filing. Okay, so also don't forget on the upper part of the page the expiration. And once you file this I-864 if you will make print it in the 8.5 by 11, and make sure all the pages are there and the barcode at the bottom of the page. All right, so yeah, now we will maybe in my next video I will help you and run through everything what's in the form and how I get there on the instructions, etc. But now we will talk only for the cover letter, so my videos, it will not I will not too long. Okay, so now next for the Roman numeral number 2 is the supporting evidence. Okay, so according to this website, nothing much for the checklist of requirement. It's just here. Okay, let me just read it to you why my supporting evidence is just very little. So I have the Exhibit B. It says copy of household members' federal income tax returns. So it's almost the same, the one in I-864. So make sure they have the past 3 years for the federal income tax return. Next is, to be honest, that's it. But I added Exhibit C and Exhibit D, which is the letter of explanation, personal relationship, and living arrangement. So why I added the letter of explanations or personal relationship and living arrangement? It's because my petitioner, which is my husband, is the one who is doing the support, or for the household member is his stepfather. All right, so I just put it right there, personal relationship, and then also we live in their house, so I put living arrangement. It's just for him, it's almost the same in my previous video, the one that I told you, mentioned that we are living in their house. So I'll just put there that he allowed us to live in their place, or etc, etc. So that's basically all about the letter of explanation. So comment down below if you need help for all the letters, then I am willing to help. All right, so next, under the letter, the attached letter, it's also stated there the copy of household members driver's license. Okay, so it must be same address as the sponsor. So remember, once again, the contract between the sponsor and the household member, the household member and the sponsor make sure they are living in the same roof or in the same address. So that's why I submit the driver's license, because it shows there that they have the same address, they're living in the same address. We cannot provide the you can do also utilities and other bills, but like what I mentioned before in my video, they don't allow us to pay for the they don't allow us to pay some bills and rents here, so that's why we cannot provide any utilities. Next is the copy of marriage certificate, because they are so the one who was supporting is, or helping helping financially, is the stepfather. So I just put copy of marriage certificate demonstrating the family unit. It's just if applicable, so I just put if applicable. So the marriage certificate of my husband's mom and the stepfather, so proof that they are married. And then on the last one, Exhibit D, is the household member's birth certificate, or either passport, green card. This is just a proof of US citizenship, or the lawful permanent resident here in the US. So that's it, all about the contract between sponsor and household member. So now let's move on. Let's go and run through and check for this checklist of required initial evidence for informational purposes. So it says here, please do not submit this checklist with your form I-864A. The checklist is an optional tool to use as you prepare your form, but does not replace statutory, regulatory, and form instructions requirements. So we recommend that you review these requirements before completing and submitting your form. So now, once again, like what I always said in my previous one, do not send original documents unless specifically requested in the form, instructions, or applicable regulations. So always make a copy. Okay, actually I had some problems, but I managed. It's just lucky that I had it on my file. So because some forms I did not photocopy, so I panicked because like this one, request for evidence, right? So now for the request for evidence, I need to resubmit again all the forms and all the documents for my I-864. So if I just copied all the documents that I have, I should have not just waited for, like, example, the tax return of my husband 2022. So I thought that he can just simply pull out these tax return, and he said he filed it to some tax persons. And yeah, I'm not really good when it comes to tax because I never pay tax because I'm a seafarer, and of course my employer is a American citizen or foreigner, so I don't need to pay taxes. So for my entire life I never pay taxes. Oh, lucky me. I know somebody will say I'm lucky, but yeah, that's a perks of being a seafarer. If your employer is not is a foreigner. All right, so okay, there you go. That's why now it's supposed to submit already these documents, but since it's weekends, when I got these documents, when I got this RFE, then I have to wait until Monday and to get this 2022. That's the only missing file. But if I just had it, like, like what I mentioned, I copied my own documents before I submit, it's just like it's supposed to be, I have everything in file. So that's the only thing I'm missing. So take note, always have a copy of your documents that you will submit to the USCIS, especially if you are submitting it through mail, right? So that's one of the tips. Okay, next is make sure it says their copies. So you will just submit original documents if they requested. So everything is copy. Next, in a foreign language, you must include a full English translation along with the certification from the translator verifying that the translation is complete and accurate. These are for my friends from, for example, you are Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Arabic. So those who are not using English, make sure you have it's translated into English and verified by a translator. Okay, and they are competent to translate from the foreign language into English. Okay, next, did you provide the following? It says, so the Internal Revenue or IRS transcript or a copy of your federal income tax return for the most recent tax year. So now it's 2025, it must be 2024. If you filed the 2024 already, then you need to provide, so it must be 3 most recent tax year. So 2024, 2023, and 2022. So if you provide copy, you must include a copy of every form, W-2 and Form 1099 that relates to your return. If you believe additional returns may help you to establish your ability to maintain sufficient income, you may submit transcripts of photocopies of your federal income tax returns for the 3 most recent years. So it's not actually mandatory for you to show the 3 most recent years. However, if you think that it's not, you don't have sufficient income, and your 2 recent tax years is past 2 years is good, and you think it's good to maintain the income, sufficient income for your or will support the income, then just include the 2022. So mine, I included even if it's not enough, but I mean, I still included, as there is an box there on the forms that did you file the most recent tax year, so something like that, but I just include. Okay, next, you may choose to submit a photocopy of or an Internal Revenue Service issued transcript of your complete federal income tax return for your second and third most recent. Like what I said, it's up to you. You may choose or submit a photocopy from the third most recent tax year if you believe these additional tax returns may help you establish the ability to maintain your household income at the governing threshold set forth in I-864A poverty guidelines. So, to be honest, it's not really that much. The required evidence, that's it. And yeah, make sure also the form, do not forget to sign. Alright, there is a form there. You will use only black or blue pen, that's it, and other colored pen is not required. No electronically signed, so make sure it's properly signed. So we will move on that on the next video, how to form the I-864A, but I will show you first the poverty guidelines. Okay, this is the poverty guidelines. Okay, here is the poverty guidelines. So if you are going on this one, there is already here form I-864P poverty guidelines. You just click that one and it will proceed to this one. So this is the one that I am telling you that there is a, for the 48 contagious states, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, Guam, and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. So it's a lot. So this is the sponsor's household size. I will just show you very quick. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you and your husband, it's just 2, and then it must be 125% of poverty guidelines, because this 100% of HHS poverty guidelines is only for sponsors on active duty in the U.S. Armed Forces who are petitioning for their spouse or child. So if your spouse or your petitioner is an active duty in the U.S. Armed Forces, so it's just 100% of the poverty guidelines. But if not, everybody will use the 125% for all the sponsors. So if it's 2, you and your husband will get this, must obtain 26,437. If it's 3, included the kids, if you have kids with you that applying, or somebody, so 33, and so on and so forth. Now there is also state there, add 6,875 for each additional person. So 26. So if it's you and your husband is 26,437, they added 6,875 per person. So it will become 33,312, and 55 only 5,500 for the 100% or the active on duty for the US one. And then, like what I mentioned earlier, it's different. The one for Alaska, this is for Alaska, which is higher because the for 2-person it's already 33,000, higher than 8,006. No, most likely like $7,000. This is for Alaska. For 2-person, is 33,037, higher than 7,000 plus. And for Hawaii is 30,400. So 4,000 plus, approximately 4,000 higher compared to the rest of the 48 contagious states in the USA. Alright, so that's all. Why that's very important for you to know these poverty guidelines, because this will help you if you and the petitioner, the immigrants or the petitioner needs to apply the I-864A and the or the joint sponsor. So why I-864A? I-864A, you will only apply that if the petitioner is the same address of the household member. So like in my case, my husband, which is the petitioner, and the stepfather or the mother, we are living in the same roof. So it's either parent, spouse, children 18 years old and above, children adult, is living in the same address. If they are not living in the same address with you and the petitioner, they have to apply for the joint sponsor. Joint sponsor, the difference between the joint sponsor again and the I-86 for the household member can add the income to the income of the petitioner. So for example, our household member, the annual income or the total income is 20,000 and the petitioner is 30,000. If they will add, it's 50,000. So basically, it will also goes to this, it's gonna be the household size is 3 because the household member, petitioner, and the immigrant. So it's 3 of us. So it should be in the poverty guidelines. We will fall under, it must be here, 3, must be 33,312. Alright, now for the joint sponsor, they will apply the I-864. For the joint sponsor, same thing with the affidavit of support of the petitioner. There's no different, it's not, the form is not different to the petitioner. They will apply, but they have to check there's a box there, I am the joint sponsor. All right, but the joint sponsor is not allowed to include the income, his or her income, to the petitioner. However, for the joint sponsor, anyone, it doesn't matter if it's your colleagues, your friends, your neighbors, anyone can be a joint sponsor as long as they are willing to provide the informations and all the like information. What I'm saying is the tax returns and everything, because there's a lot of forms or like documents that you are requesting for that joint sponsor, and of course personal informations are there, like their social security number or their tax returns and everything. So yeah, the joint sponsor, that's the difference. Okay, joint sponsor, they are not allowed to total or include their income to the petitioner's income. So make sure the joint sponsor also can meet all the requirements. Same thing the petitioner. If they cannot meet the requirements for the poverty guidelines, they can apply for the assets, which we've done. My husband and I, we did the assets. However, we still get the RFE, request for evidence. We will talk about the request for evidence for the next video. So I add a lot of ideas for this. We're supposed to talk only the cover letter, and then yeah, I said a lot of things, but I mean, yeah. Oh, there's a disclaimer. So once again, so don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below. And it's a disclaimer that I am not an immigration attorney. This video is based on my experience and is intended for informational purposes only. For legal advice specific to your case, please consult a licensed immigration attorney. So that's all, and thank you so much, and see you next time. Bye.